hey, I'm driving. I want to do a very quick video on headlines and how to actually create a good headline that will help you make a ton of money and a ton of sales. Because I've been in this game for a while and I've seen that headline structures change a lot. So I want to talk about what's working for headlines in 2025 and what are the easiest things you do. Okay. So I remember a little while ago, somebody posted a study. I think her name was Saba. She worked for, at the time, she's a really great marketer, posted in this group about the top performing headlines across the board for native ads. And native ads, if you don't know, are like the ads that show up on like MSNBC and all these websites. And this is really, really important because the biggest advertisers are typically native and mass impression advertisers. They're spending like $10,000 to $100,000 a day on these types of ads for Medicare and supplements and financial products and everything like this. So in context, what they found after doing this big study was the number one top performing headlines always had a verb as the first word. Like every single time it was a verb. And it makes sense when you think about it logically, because a verb is an action word. It gets somebody in action. And so after realizing this, it's funny, I looked at that a few years ago, kind of just pondered it, okay, that's cool. I'm still using my discover how to do this, how to headlines, which still work to this day. I don't think the discover ones do as well. I think some people still use them, but I really, really think they're kind of a dying breed. Whereas what I see now, and the best thing you can ever do, is use a verb like install, implement, swipe and deploy, use, meditate, like whatever, like any type of verb you can use, and then use this thing or install this thing so you can get this result, right? And that thing is a mechanism, right? So one of the best things I ever did was, well, not the best thing, anyway, doesn't matter. It worked well, was I tested a headline for my Sell What You See product that was changing from, I think it was like how we get 5 buyers a day or something like that. It was like a generic how-to headline before. And what I did instead is I changed it to a verb that said install a micro offer and get your first 3 buyers in the next 72 hours, I think it is, or 48 hours, something like that. And I changed it from adding a verb, having the mechanism of micro offer, and then a time frame of how fast it takes to get the result. And that radically increased conversions, like above the board. And I think a big thing is that if you can get your headline dialed in, it's got a few pieces. So first, it's specific, meaning like it's really clean cut what it is. And it specifically addresses something that a person wants. Remember, you're always with your headline. It should be like the clean cut, I call it a North Star promise, the clean cut promise of what a person will get if they consume the product. So as an example, if you're a relationship coach and you're going to say, have better sex, right? Your headline should be, and let's just say it's for men, like see how you use this thing, this technique to fulfill your desires in the bedroom, right? As an example. And that's not a good headline, but it gives you an example. That basically sums up, okay, so if I do this and I use this product, this is the end result that will happen, right? It shouldn't be like some weird, complicated thing. It shouldn't follow some like weird formula. It should just be really specific about what it's going to do, right? The next thing it needs, and the next thing that it should have, is a time frame in it. So time is really good, because if you can have time showing how long the result is going to take, then you can amplify and beat out free. The biggest thing right now is that back in the day, information was very scarce. Now we're in information abundance. Like you're watching this on YouTube right now. Maybe somebody cut this into a short, one of my team members, but information is completely abundant to the point where we have way too much of it. And so now when people are choosing to purchase something, it's not because there's a lack of information. It's often because they want help moving to their dream vision in a faster, easier way. So what you want to do is make that headline so that you can get there in a faster, easier way. And you want to show it's like using this 2-step process, using this in this 3-minute exercise, this 5-minute exercise, and get this minor result in X amount of time, right? Anything like that you can hit on the time works really, really good. Final thing I'll say on this is that if you can make the promises micro, and I'll say the third point is micro promises. If you can make micro believable promises, they perform. I often see them performing really good compared to the big flashy promises, because the problem is that if you say to someone, again, let me just hit on spirituality niche as an example. If you said, I'm going to help you have a midlife breakthrough and achieve true transcendence, following this 1 day course, right? Like no one will believe you. It's just like completely too unbelievable. And so instead what you want to do is like hit them on a micro promise. Like what is something that is really, really tangible that they can see and feel and understand, that you can say, like this is what I'm going to achieve when I go through this process. So those are 3 things that you can do in your headlines. They will help you massively. If you want some feedback on your headlines, post some in the comments. I'll take a look. Again, jam-packed with 2 kids, but I promise I'll either take a look or give you some insight into that if you post some headlines and you want some feedback in the comments. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.